Eastern Conference Finals tips off tonight.
Yeah.
Knicks, Pacers, the goddamn throwback series. They're making them the NBA, where Adam Silver was right, is saying no more of this dumb graffiti, stupid modern uniform crap. You're giving everybody nostalgia. The only thing we're missing is a little round ball rock going into the game tonight. But you're getting a series from our childhood that was very relevant in Indiana and New York. Reggie Miller, Spike Lee, right? The memories will come out tonight, and we get a pretty fun and entertaining Eastern Conference Finals where it's New York back for the first time in 25 years, and it's Indiana and their second consecutive Eastern Conference Finals. What do we expect tonight in the Garden?
Fireworks.
Fireworks.
Kind of a lower scoring affair. I think we're instantly going to get hatred showing itself
right out of the gate.
Well, I mean, these are two teams that played each other just last year. I know we like to go back to the 90s and talk about 94 and 95. And
this is how rivalries brew, though. You got to play the same team in the playoffs multiple times.
Larry Johnson, like we can go 2000. I think the very next year after LJ's 4-point play, the Pacers eliminated them the next year. Like, there is such a history here. And I thought Nick Costos summed it up very, very well. This is the team he hates the most. He's a Knicks fan. It's not the Celtics. It's not the Sixers. It's not even the Heat. Remember the Heat fights we used to get in the late 90s with P.J. Brown and the Allen Houston game winner? It's a memorable moment.
Yep.
It's the Pacers.
Yep.
The heartbreak, the history of it. Halliburton and Brunson had a WWE moment. Like, literally we're, facing off in a WWE moment. So I think all of this stuff makes this so much more exciting. And, not to have takeaways from game one and say that's going to be the whole series. But I don't know if you'd be shocked if you found out the Knicks-Pacers goes a full 7 and it's a good series versus what we're going to get maybe in the Thunder.
It did in last year in the second round. New York jumped out to a 2-0 series lead, and then they lost 4 of the next 5 and lost Game 7 on their home floor, 130-109.
This will be a styles make fight, control for pace of the game. Is there a way that Indiana can get it to go up and down the floor more? And then
Cat needs to be big, man. Like, you cannot have those games.
If the Knicks make threes, like Cat, OG Anunoby, whoever else, and that stretches out the defense, and Brunson has then more room late to go one-on-one with who's ever trying to guard him. That is definitely in the Knicks' favor. If they start bricking from outside and Indiana can pack it in towards Brunson, Knicks are going to have a hard time scoring if they don't get
What do you
fouls.
think is going to happen? I think this is a 7-gamer.
I would pick it to go 7, yeah. Knicks probably winning in 7. I'm okay with that prediction. I'll stick with you. Knicks in 7.
I think the Pacers might get this in 6.
Pacers are playing such good basketball right now.
Here's Brunson on last year's series.
I mean, it still kind of bothers me, but I feel like once you get into the season, you start thinking about the next game and everything like that. Obviously, it was a missed opportunity last year playing them at home in Game 7, regardless of who we had out there. Don't really know like a timetable, but I mean, it definitely hurt that we lost.
They just lost. They got blown out in that game.
That's a great follow-up question. Hey, what bothered you about losing Game 7 on your home floor with a chance to go to the conference finals on the line?
I mean,
I don't know, that we lost Game 7 on our home floor with a chance to go to the conference finals.
The thing about the Pacers is like Siakam, Nesmith, Turner, Nembhard, Halliburton.
Nesmith has been the guy that's got my attention most for the Pacers in terms of guys that, okay, who's going to be like number 2 or 3 or the X factor sort of thing. I mean, I know what Halliburton can do. I know what Siakam can do, but in the playoffs so far, it's been him. And the games that Nembhard actually makes jumpers, then I don't know what you do.
Brunson had a bit of an interesting playoff last year because he bursts onto the scene. He goes in. He's a bucket. I felt like by the end of that Pacer series, he was exhausted. And now they're a step further in that they're facing each other again. I'm kind of curious to see how does he hold up in this one because he's already been asked to do a lot. They play heavy minutes. DiVincenzo last year in that Game 7 had 39. DiVincenzo ain't there no more.
Nope.
So this is where Karl-Anthony Towns in place of Hartenstein. Hartenstein, by the way, had 0 points in that game. They got blown out. So there's a little bit of a pride factor, I think, that you got to be taking into consideration. The other part of this, too, is just so interesting of watching the Indiana Pacers get back to the NBA Finals would be wild because 0 people picked that scenario.
Nobody thought that would happen. Even though they were in the conference finals last year, nobody would have picked that.
But I have friends and the league are all really pulling for New York.
Everybody wants the Knicks to win. Outside of people in Indiana, everybody wants the Knicks to win.
Really?
I think so.
You think America wants the Knicks?
I think America desperately wants the Knicks to be in it.
Yeah.
I think the NBA Finals, and this is no offense, we're a small market. People would say this about Portland if they were in the conference finals. The NBA Finals is exponentially more interesting with the Knicks involved.
Well, especially if it ends up being the Thunder.
I mean, they haven't won a title since 1973.
Yeah.
I mean, they've known nothing but losing for basically the last 30 years. Like, it's been nothing but L's, man. And so, yeah, the atmosphere, the Madison Square Garden, the celebrities, the attention that it would bring on the NBA.
Yeah, but the Knicks fans haven't
wins all
helped
over.
themselves here. Listen to this.
Thanks to Jackson and Zach, our producers, who came here to the Garden tonight and are going out into humanity. I'm just walking to my hotel. I'll be fine. Thank you to Bontemps as well. We'll talk to you in a couple days.
A few moments later.
How do you feel about Boston losing? I don't give a Knicks is sick. Suck all that down. Suck all that down. What are you going to say?
Yeah, look, not great. There's also a lot of, like,
That's a lot of them, man.
there's a lot of
That's
them.
a lot of them.
Those fans exist, though, in every fan base, they exist. They absolutely exist.
Okay. Show me the evidence that Pacer fan follows Brian Windhorst, pelts him with garbage, and tells him he's a bitch. Find me that video.
Yeah, there's bad apples in every fan base.
Come on, man.
There is absolutely bad apples
Look,
in
for
every fan base.
every one Timothée Chalamet, there is like 15 Knicks fans are the opposite.
There's
They're
also
the
a lot
worst.
more Knicks fans because it's a much bigger city than
100% right.
Indianapolis.
I'm torn here. I love the story of Brunson. It would be so funny if Luka and Brunson both got rings. Like, God, how stupid would Dallas look? And there's somehow New York has framed themselves as underdogs. And I'm just blown away by that.
Yeah.
Because you don't get a New York-based team very often that make you feel like they're underdogs, and I feel like they're underdogs.
Last night was a bit of a dud for me in the Western Conference Finals. I hope tonight is not. I hope we get a great game. New York, Indiana, game 1 of the Eastern
What's
Conference
the line
Finals.
on that? How does
4.5? New York's favored by 4.5. That's a tight line. Tight line.
If Chalamet is there, I'm betting on the Knicks.
Bing bong. Bing bong.
He's the chosen one.